you walk. First of all, I didn't expect to see you in the building yesterday.
Okay.
I saw you in the hallway. I haven't seen you probably in, I don't know, a couple of
20 years.
decades.
Yeah.
Couple of decades.
Maybe a little over 20 years.
People know you as a successful actor. You're a Baldwin brother. You've been at this for a long time. I know you from the streets of New York in the 1990s at Jimmy's Bronx Cafe.
I'll tell you a sidebar story.
Okay, please.
About how, it's one thing to be famous, but it's another thing to be known in the street.
You like that? You like it?
Well, it's funny because, I went to Jimmy's Bronx Cafe just because the food was amazing.
Yeah.
And you could dance.
Yeah.
And then I went with some, fun.
You were hanging out with Terror Squad and you remember?
Yeah, that's way
back. Yes, I know.
And it just makes me giggle because one time I'll make this fast. I just
you have all the time in the world. It's fine.
Rihanna had a party after a Met Ball. And I'm driving out of the city, had a business meeting. I've always lived up north, up around Nyack and up around Newburgh and all that on the Hudson River for the last 30 years. I lived upstate a little bit.
Got it.
And I'm heading out of the city. My phone rings. It's Richie Akiva. He goes, "Hey, man, Rihanna's having a party at my spot, if you want to come through." And I'm like, "I'm going home, bro." He's like, "Okay, bro. Blessings." Richie doesn't sweat. You know what I mean? I turned the car around. I figured,
wait a minute.
Let me just go see what's up because it's early enough. I go to this party. I walk in his spot, and there's the red carpet, the thing, and Richie's there, and the guys in the long line. And it's insane because it's Rihanna's private party.
Of course.
And I'm standing there, and Richie tells the guy to let me through the rope. And as I step through the rope, people in the line can now see who is walking in.
Yes.
And one of my daughters goes, "Dad!" And both my daughters are in the line.
Oh, no.
Because they've gone to Met Ball. And they have no idea. I just got this phone call from Richie.
They didn't know you was popping, and you didn't have to wait on anybody's line.
So it's adorable. Because I turn to Richie, I go, "Hey, man, that's my daughters." And Richie goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah." They come walking up, and Richie turns to me and goes, he gives me this look. You want to talk about grandpa? Richie Akiva looks at me and goes, "That's your daughters?" He goes, "They've already been in here a bunch, right?" I go, "I don't know what they're doing. They're out of the house, bro. What am I doing, So we go in together. He walks us right to the VIP section, and everyone's there. And I say hello to a bunch of people very fast, but people from SNL and that I know from my brother hosting and, but from before they were born.
Right.
So anyway, they say hi to, Kate McKinnon and da-da-da-da, and the whole time Haley is squeezing my elbow going like,
how old is she at this point? This is years ago, yeah?
Oh, this is a long, yeah. I forget what year it was, but they were able to kind of sneak, they were going anyway.
Yeah.
That's the goofy part, Massapequa moves there. I love it. But inside they said hi to some people who, and the whole time Haley and my daughter are squeezing my arm. Alaya is my other daughter. "You don't know that person. you know them?" After I say hello to such and such, "You know them?" And it was so sweet. But the coolest part of my kids is I'm leaving the club. I only said hi. I stayed for 5 minutes. I had a ginger ale. They came with me. I'm not leaving them there. We're walking down the sidewalk, and my oldest daughter, Alaya, goes, "You're not cool." Like a daughter would say, "Doesn't matter. You got us in. You said what's up to everybody. JD, blah, 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 And I just didn't say nothing. I said, "Listen, I'm the kind of cool that doesn't matter if you think I'm cool." So there you go.
They gotta think you're cool. A little bit. Sometimes there had to have been some moments. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Sometimes you're right.
They give you some props.
Yes.
In these little intermittent moments of glory.
Yeah.
You get a little cred. But listen. My oldest daughter's got my granddaughter. My second daughter's got my grandson. They're doing it. They're doing great.
Well, you've been at this for a very long time. And that's number one.
How long? 40 years? Yeah.
Okay, well, then there's that. You also have a street classic. Usual Suspects, Give Me the Keys, you motherfucker, cocksucker, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Legend.
I get asked to do that quite often, actually.
Legend.
But actually, they don't even do that. They just walk up to me.
They have to.
I'll be at MoMA. You know what I mean? I'll be at the ballet. You know, like.
So good. But you were so great in it also.
But there's a couple other cool.
Yeah, what is your favorite? Is that not your favorite?
Street cred.
Okay, give me them.
Posse with Mario Van
Posse,
Peebles.
that's right.
All black Western with only me and Billy Zane. The only weirdos in the movie. Okay. Can I say that? Am I in trouble? Are we going to beep that?
No.
Okay.
Say
Thank
whatever
you.
you want. You're in a safe space. We'll protect you. We'll protect you.
Angie Martinez space, baby. No, but that's again kind of a cult classic.
Yeah.
Mario Van Peebles, Big Daddy Kane,
Yes.
Tone Loc.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hung out with these guys. Like
Yeah.
they called me up. They're like, "Hey, man, we're going to play this crazy little white boy in this kind of all black Western and Tone Loc and Big Daddy Kane." I was like, "Forget Mario, forget everything." I was like, "Oh, I got to hang out with like." I had scenes with Big Daddy Kane, which was just such a treat to be in movies like that.
Yeah.
Then Fled with Lawrence Fishburne is a super cool movie.
Okay,
right?
give me another
You know
one.
what I mean? So there's a movie called Half Baked. I don't know if you know that. You ever hear of it?
Come on. What are you talking about? Don't talk to me disrespectfully. Don't disrespect me like I don't know Half Baked.
It's a legendary cult classic.
legendary.
Cannabis, you know,
Yes.
Chappelle.
So like if you walk into a dispensary, because now weed is, by the way, the weed was not legal
Right.
when that movie came out.
Correct.
Now you're probably legend if you walk into a dispensary, a legal dispensary in New York City.
Okay, well, let me just tell you the weirdest part of that. You want to talk about old school street cred, throwback celebrity. There's Biodome, right? Another one I did, which has its cannabis intentions in the film. But so many generations now, that film, anybody who smokes weed for the last 35 years, since I've been smoking weed, you know, whatever it is in that regard, the storyline in those comedies of weed, especially Half Baked, has lived on, you know, almost as a cult classic. So exactly as you're saying, I can be in a dispensary and like some young person will be like, "That's the guy from That's MacGyver from Half Baked." That's the characters, like it's the MacGyver scene where I got to make a bong out of whatever, you know, like a snorkel mask and you know a piece of fruit, you know. And the other weird part of that for me is I can go to a dispensary now, and I'm more into the science of it. I work with a big dispensary company out of Syracuse, New York, right now. Because my whole family's from Syracuse. My parents met at Syracuse, so I have a history up there. So hanging out, this guy's been working with my mom's charity up there. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, I know you're doing a lot of work in that. I was going to get to that, but
Right?
you got to it for me. Great.
But really quick, I'll just pass this on. So this Flintstone guy is going to be doing more dispensaries all down here in Manhattan and this like
and your partners in this, yeah? Or no?
No,
or
I'm just
no?
I'm consult the company.
Oh, got it.
So I've been kind of also behind the scenes learning about like the science of it as best you can. It's not cool anymore to like just consume for whatever, like shotgun, you know, oh, my back hurts. So, you know, like whatever your reason is, mellowing out, staying calm, anxiety, like it's different now. It's not smoking just to smoke.
Yeah.
People do it for lots of 50% of the cannabis sold nationwide at every dispensary, medical or recreational, are sold to people who are what age or over? Guess.
35.
50.
Wow. I was going older because you
Think
set
about the
me up for
statement.
that.
Every state that's recreational right now, there's like 23 of them, 50% of all cannabis sold every single day is to people 50 and over.
Wow.
But that shows you the demo of who's using it.
Yeah.
So those folks aren't looking for, you know, like, you know.
They want to feel better or they want to like heal themselves in certain ways. Or there's so many.
A medicinal, responsible
They
way.
want to sleep well. They want to deal with anxiety.
The sleep stuff is big in CBD and cannabis. So I'm doing it to learn.
It's probably cool to receive so much love from so many different places from people from work that you've done, though, right? That's got to be. I know your daughter's all the way. Don't give me the props, but it's got to, you know, it's got to be a pretty cool life, no?
Well, it's fun, and you know, still at my daughter's ages right now, where they go, the circles they run around in, this, that, you know, early on when my kids started doing their own thing, because my oldest daughter, Eli, was professionally modeling in the beginning before she got married and became a mom. Yeah. And it would be funny to get a text message like, "I'm sitting with so-and-so from the Lakers and he won't shut up about you. He just thinks you're amazing." I had to tell my daughter, "I'm so sorry.
So sorry your dad's popping out here in these streets. How many kids do you have? Just two? You have the
Just
two
two
daughters.
daughters,
Two daughters.
both
Oh,
married.
two girls. You know,
Two girls. That was the karma.
You're
I
a
pulled
girl
a lot
dad.
of pigtails back there in Massapequa. No good.
You did good. You did good though.
Yeah.
You did great. They're doing
Things are
well.
beautiful.
You're a grandfather.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that? They say being a grandparent is like even surpasses being a parent in certain ways. No, you're not.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, not really.
Well, no. I think parenting is so much fun.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cooler to be on the couch and watch someone else do it. I hate to say it like to be funny like that, but when you get old enough and you've been there, and I've traveled a lot of the world with my kids when they were younger. But a lot of it was vacationing.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
I didn't get on an airplane until I was 17. So it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just different.
I get it.
And but yeah, we're having lots of fun with the grandkids.
And you're podcasting?
I'm podcasting. I'm a podcaster.
Oh, time? We have time?
No.
Are you on time?
On your end.
Oh, no, mine. I'm totally fine.
Okay, I'm
We're
just
totally
making
fine.
sure.
We have all the time you need,
Angie's
baby.
so sweet. She's so humble. She doesn't realize how powerful and important she truly is.
Me? Oh, please.
Angie Martinez. Yes. Yes.
Was that in?
What was I talking about?
I don't know.
What?
Angie Martinez.
Oh,
Does that? Wait. Do you like being? Do you like being interviewed, or you don't like being interviewed? Is it weird for you?
well,
Like, do you
if
get
I can
like?
pay attention, I like being interviewed.
Okay.
So my granddaughter a
But
year
you're not
ago.
like worried I'm going to, you don't have like, because now it's weird. It's not like, I think we interviewed back in the day one time, but like now it's different.
On social media, if I fart, they go, what it really means is this.
Right.
It's just so, now it's just
It's
so
horrible.
pathetic.
Yes. No, I know.
But you got to be cool too, because it's like anything, man. People are sitting around with these things in their homes, not going out, not getting any sun. You know, it's just weird. You know,
Yeah.
it's a time where people are really wigging out on these devices.
Yeah.
But
Somebody
it's
told me yesterday that this generation is the loneliest.
Right.
It's the loneliest
Exactly.
generation
Exactly.
like
It's
of all
sad.
time.
It's not cool.
Yeah, it's not
Mental
cool.
health and all that is
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is that scenario is the perfect kind of channel for some people to like be mean and be
Yeah,
haters.
mean
You know
and
what I mean?
negative,
But,
yeah.
but I just mean wicked. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you can see that in some
Of
places. I'm sure
course.
you've gotten smacked from
All the
people. Yeah.
time. Yeah, all the time it happens.
So I get stuff
Yeah.
about my family.
I was thinking about that too, and then when I was asking you about your grandkids, I could see you being like careful. And I'm like, oh God, yes, of course, because probably because of the level of the children and the son-in-law, you can't even like freely say you have to be careful, right? You have to be careful a little bit.
Well, you want to honor
Yes, you want to be mindful.
their parental sovereignty, right?
Go ahead and get your
And,
actor on.
You know, the Bible
Get your deliberate,
says,
yes.
once these kids yoke to another, I'm out. But you know what I'm saying.
I totally get it. I
But
totally
but what's
understand.
more important to me is just, supporting them and letting them do their thing.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Okay, so back to the podcast. So you have this podcast called it's called it's called
One bad movie.
One Bad Movie.
Right.
Which is such a great concept.
And you are coming on my show because
Did you know that?
watch how easy this is. Did you ever do a movie in the last 30 years?
I've done multiple movies, Stephen.
Right.
Let me tell you, you might have seen me in State Property 2.
State Property too.
That's the biggest joke with all my friends. Like if we're out somewhere, people go, "You look so familiar," because they're talking about me from the radio or something. I go, "Oh, you must have seen me in State Property 2." State Property 2.
You never know.
I do that all the time.
You never know.
I was in a movie called Brown Sugar.
Oh, I love that one.
You like that one? Okay, so that's not the One Bad Movie. That's kind of a classic.
Okay, but you got to tell me a story about that.
I was in a movie. I was in a movie called Crime Partners, which was funded by Supreme. Do you know who Supreme is?
Yes, the skate company.
No. Different Supreme.
Oh,
Allegedly funded
right,
by Supreme's money.
right.
You understand where I'm going with this?
Uh-huh.
So I get a call from Supreme. Supreme is notorious in his world
Right.
of what he does, right?
Right.
Then he decides to venture. He's still in jail. Oh, he's in jail for life. He's in life. He's doing life in prison. Before he went to prison,
Yo, how do I option the rights to the sequel? Oh, anyway, go ahead.
listen, I could set you up. So before he was out of prison and for a period of time, and he was pivoting his life into a career. He wanted to try films, so he funded a film called Crime Partners.
Right.
I played a dope fiend. First of all,
Angie.
First of all, they asked me, "Hey, Supreme's doing a movie." Now, Supreme's like a street legend and hip hop, and I'm like, "Okay, great, good for him." Irv Gotti's involved; they're all involved.
Right.
So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do a cameo in the movie." All these people are showing up for it. So I was, I was young. It was the '90s. I wasn't taking it that seriously. I was late for my call time, so I showed up, and Supreme walks to the. I'm in the trailer, and Supreme knocks on the door. He comes to the door. I'm like, "Oh, hey!" I'm thinking he's gonna be like, "Thanks so much for coming to my movie." He goes, "Oh, so you came. So I thought you were late. I didn't think you were going to come." I was like, "No, I was going to come." He's like, "Oh, good, because I didn't want to have to put you in the trunk." And I said, and then he cracked a smile and started cracking up. And then he started cracking up laughing. And then all his guys started cracking up laughing. He was funny. He was just being funny. But there was an awkward moment where I didn't know if he was being funny or not. And it was a weird silence on the trailer. But he was being funny. And he actually was great to me.
Thank goodness, Angie.
And nobody put me in the trunk.
Heavens.
Nobody put me in the trunk. And I had to learn how to hit a crack pipe in my scene.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. It was me with the
crack pipe. What was the title
pipe.
of this cinematic bliss?
It's called Crime Partners.
Crime Partners.
It's very difficult to find. By the way, might have been not the best movie, but I was kind of proud of my performance considering I think I played a pretty decent.
What were you, Crack Pipe Susie? What
I was
the
Crack
character?
Pipe Susie. I don't think her name was Susie. I don't remember her name, but it was a crack pipe.
Right.
It was a lot of shaking. And then I got shot and killed.
Oh.
So I'm in the movie for like 45 seconds, all within the time that I'm smoking crack. And then
Was your only screen time 45 seconds?
I'm going to say.
Where they cut you, you hit a crack pipe and collapse?
Then I get killed.
That's it.
I'm pretty much sure that was it.
Now, was it the crack that killed you?
It wasn't. I was shot.
Oh,
dead.
shot.
There was blood.
Oh, so you hit the crack pipe, then you're shot, and you're out.
Fell down to the ground. I was down on the ground like this, and I had blood splattered on me.
Sounds like Beverly Mitchell.
And my God, there was another actor in it who was actually a real actor who I think was in like some classic movie. He said to me, "You did that scene really well." I did that scene really well.
Did he really?
He said I did the scene well. I don't know what I did while I was laying there dead with the blood.
Did anyone coach you about the crack pipe? What happened?
No,
you just
there was
figure it out on your own?
I just figured it out on my own.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so if I was telling you the story of this movie and we were on your podcast, what would happen on then? Do we dive deeper into the movie, or how is the format of the podcast go?
Well, that could be your personal one bad movie experience.
Yes.
You could say, "Oh, I burnt my mouth on the pipe." There could be some story to it.
Yes.
Now I'm curious, because see, this is like dueling podcasts right now.
Yes,
I
we're
love
like
it.
pod
Like,
on
we're both
pod.
hosts.
Yeah.
So since you bring it up, it just makes me wonder, like, what other features did you have a cameo in something that was a big studio something, or did you always do indies?
Mostly indies. Brown Sugar was
and that all went good, you said.
And it all went well.
What's the one movie that was like a normal production, you showed up and it wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
I don't have a slate like you have a slate.
No,
Of the few that I've had.
You have time to. My podcast is in a couple weeks, son.
Oh, this comes to your podcast? We're not talking about this now.
I'd love to talk about it now.
There was a movie. Also, this is a paid
Don't say too much, but go ahead.
Paid in full.
Oh, so Paid in Full based on the album?
No.
Okay.
Based on
See how
Rich
I know
Porter.
hip-hop? See how I know hip-hop?
That was pretty good. Rich Porter and Alpo.
Okay.
Two notorious street guys from uptown.
Yo, I need money for movies. You still know all these cats? What's up? We gotta produce some Angie Martinez stuff. Oh, by the way, I have a brilliant idea for you. I can't say it on air. I have an amazing.
That was a Rockefeller movie. Dave Dash did that movie. But yes, tell me.
But remember what I texted you about documentary? Remember what I kept saying?
What did you say?
She was there.
Yeah.
Tupac, but like she was.
I was
like an East Coast young lady that was that was on the pulse of all that. So I'll talk to you later about a documentary idea I have, a docuseries about you. And the One Bad Movie podcast is kind of amazing because as I talk to people in Hollywood about their bad experiences in a humorous way, it brings up these other stories they didn't remember. So that's where I'm going with you right now.
It's a great entry point.
It's an excellent, because it's not you going, oh, I'm prepared in my subconscious like this. It's you going, no. It was, what was the last movie you just named? I'm so sorry.
Paid in Full.
Right. So Paid in Full, when you download that Google right now, you're remembering this, you're remembering this, you're remembering that. And then we talk about the rest of your career, and it just jars, your thought process about it differently. And the response to it has been super cool. Because we get these interviews from people that are, I interviewed Bronson Pinchot. He's the dude.
Yeah, who's
if you watch Beverly Hills Cop, in the salon. You remember Serge in the salon?
Yes.
So the new Beverly Hills Cop, you see, he goes back and Serge is there, and how are you? And that's Bronson Pinchot. He's brilliant.
Wow, does he
And
really
he's been
talk
in
like that?
Many other films.
Does he really talk like that? No.
It's just a character. If you go to his IMDb, you'll scream. He plays Serge on IMDb. He goes, "Good morning. I've had my coffee and I'm driving in the traffic." And he just starts talking as Serge. It's super funny. But we interviewed him, and he's been in many dozens of films as an actor and as himself and all kinds of stuff in 30 years. But the stories he told. So the retro of it is kind of cool. So it's fun for me when I get to interview you, talk about Paid in Full and what was going on. It's on the side.
Oh,
this,
God,
that.
you have no idea.
But the funny part about that's going to be, it was funded by somebody who wasn't in the business, who just was trying to get in the business or wanted to make money through.
No, that was Crime Partners. Paid in Full. Rockefeller, Dame Dash, and Jay-Z did Paid in Full.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a huge fan of Dame Dash. I can't even talk about it on the air because me and my friend Jonathan, who runs all my social media, like we kind of study Dame Dash because we think he's pretty sophisticated in his business acumen.
Yeah, of course. No, there's
Dame's
many
dope.
things that he has done that really are
he's dope.
Game changers, and sometimes he gets out there for people, and so then he gets a bad rap for the things that people don't agree with. But aside from the things that people might not agree with, underneath that also is some unbelievable contributions to the culture that cannot. Yes, absolutely.
Listen, here's what's cool about Dame Dash. I never met the guy.
Really?
No. But
you're just like a fan from social media, or just from like watching his career?
I'm a fan because I study people in business. You know what I mean? And Dame Dash is, first and foremost, he's a family man. He's a guy who's prioritized certain things, values that he respects before his business. Because everybody knows he could have been a lot more successful and chose not to be, to do it the way he wanted that was the best for him and his family. That's a pretty simple encapsulation of a guy who just, when the money was sketchy, he went, I'm good.
The movies that I have been in, at least half of them were Dame Dash movies. They were Paid in Full. They were Crime Part.
So we don't want to talk bad. We don't want to say a Dame Dash movie is a one bad movie.
No, State Property. By the way, I was in State Property.
Right.
That was also Kevin Hart's first film.
Right.
That was produced and directed.
I want to talk to you about all of this.
Okay. All right, I'll stop talking. So you don't want me to talk about it now. You want to talk about it on your podcast.
When you do my podcast.
Okay, we'll wait.
Which we're probably going to, we might be doing, don't tell anyone.
So what are we going to talk about today?
We might be doing special One Bad Movie podcast from this location in the future. Don't tell anyone.
All right.
Your fancy digs here.
Very excited because this is an iHeart podcast.
They might let me borrow it.
As an iHeart podcast. Okay, good. I was thrilled to be on that. And then we'll dig into that whole, because I do think there's an interesting thing to talk about around hip hop movies. The way they were made and the way they have evolved, the way ways they've
missed. Watch this question right now.
It's going to be a great conversation. We'll save it for your pod. Okay.
Do you see my point?
No, I know. I get it. I like this. We're going to talk about this later. That's later. That's for later.
Yeah.
What should people know about you? So is this like what you're locked into now, potting, or is there other things? Is there a new project, or you just like well, I know there's the weed stuff.
I have been out of kind of the mainstream, making TV shows and movies, feature films for 20 years.
Yeah. Is that like by choice or just because location?
I think you heard me do like my Christian thing kind of kicked in for a while. I was like a Christian guy, super strong, born again, freaking out, doing that. I did ministry stuff for a long time, still do. But
why do you say freaking out? Why do you?
Well, I toured the United States with skateboarders doing like Bible events.
Yes.
And no one had ever done that before. And a lot of the churches said, don't bring people with piercings and tattoos around here and talk about Jesus. That'll never work. But it worked. It's a long story. I toured for 4 years. Yeah. I went to like 100 cities in America for 4 years from like 2004 to 2008.
Fascinating.
And now it's all this time later. My kids are married. I'm a grandpa. But a long time ago, they said that I was a pretty good actor. So I'm kind of coming back into things now in the second phase of what I'd like to do as a writer, producer, director. So really One Bad Movie is a podcast I'm hosting is really more a producer thing. You know what I mean? It's my show, this, that, I created it. It's been fun, but I'm learning all about that, my individual content creation that you can own. So that's kind of cool. So a very, well, the largest budgeted feature film project I've ever done, which will be my second film as a producer, it's looking very close. Like in the next 30 days, I'll know if that's going to get triggered and launched. And that's a project in Mumbai, India.
Wow.
There's the Mumbai one, and then we have something else happening in Asia. That could be another, like, budgets with tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I've never done that. Dame Dash does that kind of stuff.
I don't know that he
I'm
does
still
that
learning.
anymore.
But no, it's fun. It's fun because
I immediately want to introduce you to Dame Dash.
Let's go to dinner.
Or we can do dinner, or I will get him for your podcast. He would be a great guest for your podcast because he's directed movies. He's gotten in trouble with movies. He's had lawsuits around movies that he's shot.
We'll make it a two-parter.
There you go. You're gonna do that.
Done.
We're gonna set that up. All right. So where do people find your podcast? Where does it live?
At
what
One Bad Movie.
One Bad Movie.
Hashtag One Bad Movie. Stephen Baldwin with a PH.
Thank you for filling out our in real life questionnaire too.
Uh-oh.
What's your name? Stevie B. What is your go-to karaoke song?
My karaoke song is Let Love Rule by Lenny Kravitz.
Ooh.
That'd be hot. Like in karaoke. You just get way
you're
into
probably
it.
so good at karaoke.
Oh, I'd bust it out. Kidding? I ain't the youngest Baldwin brother for nothing. Still here, baby.
What is it? Is there like a pride? Like, what does the youngest Baldwin brother mean? Like, what do you get? Like, what is the perks of being the youngest Baldwin brother?
There's no more perks anymore.
No.
But no, that's not true.
Come on.
If I went to a party with Alec, I'd get a gift bag. Hey, man, that doesn't suck.
But you have to go with him to the party to get the gift bag?
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a Baldwin story that I shouldn't tell.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
So Alex King, right? He's done the most movies, and he's Alec, right? And then there's me and the rest of us.
Don't do that. Your brothers have
names. But it would be so funny. Way back in the day, like 20, 25 years ago, Alec would like get tickets to the tennis tournament over here in Forest Hill. It's a big Wimbledon, whatever, big fancy thing. I should know the name of it, which is why I don't get those tickets, by the way.
Yeah.
But once in a while, you'd be like, "Hey, man, I want to see Pete Sampras." We're these corny cats from Massapequa, right? So Alex is a sophisticated dude. You know what I mean? And you'd speak to him and be like, "Hey, man, I heard Pete Sampras is going to play like in 8 days at 4 p.m. and da-da-da-da. I was wondering, if you had an extra ticket, dude, that would be gnarly. What do you think, Al?" He'd literally be like, "Are you kidding me? You want access to my private box at the tennis tournament?" I'd be like, "Oh, is it a box? I don't need a ticket. You say yes and I just go." And he's like, "That's exactly how it works." I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "No." That was 25 years ago, But
that no is brutal.
Right? Oh, yeah. No. You don't want the Alec Baldwin no.
That no drags.
Yeah, no. It stays with you. It stays with you.
That's really funny. What is your one thing on your bucket list? To be a co-host? Oh, Jingle Ball. You want to be a co-host at Jingle Ball?
So let's break it down.
All right, please.
You're Angie Martinez.
Yeah, I'm here at iHeart.
I'm just little Stevie B.
Yeah.
Right, look at the top of the paper, Stevie B. Right? Why don't we do this? Why don't we throw down a Jingle Ball gauntlet right now?
Yeah.
And if you're undecided, and my bucket list is to do something with you at Jingle Ball, let's get these iHeart folks to get up off their tuchuses and maybe come up with something you and I could do at Jingle Ball.
At Jingle Ball, what would we do?
I don't know.
A scene from Paid in Full.
I'm down. I could do an improv.
Or Crime Partners.
We could do
At
it.
the tag, you can shoot me down right on the stage. All in promotion for your new podcast.
She's so dramatic.
Your new iHeart podcast.
No, that's a great idea.
This is not a terrible idea.
We should do a live action one bad movie promo. That's like an improv.
That I would do.
That's very cool idea.
Now that you're part of the iHeart family, I do think there are plenty of things you could do in that space if you wanted to do hosting and things like that. You know, Ryan is very busy now. Ryan is off doing flipping letters on the TV. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, who?
You know Ryan Seacrest?
Oh, that Ryan.
He's doing the letters now. And
Go ahead on.
You could be like the new Ryan for iHeart. You could be like...
I'd love to be the new Ryan for iHeart.
I mean, Ryan, I think is still here, but I'm just saying he's doing other things. But
Ryan, if you ever hear this, Ryan, I love you, and I hope you're giggling.
let's see how the podcast. So let's start with the pod.
Yeah, let's start
we'll
with
see how
one
that
bad
goes. So we're gonna do Jingle Ball. We're gonna do the podcast, and everybody can see the podcast or hear the podcast at
One Bad Movie. It's on iHeart. One Bad Movie.
on the iHeart app.
And also YouTube. One Bad Movie.
One Bad
We have the
Movie.
video side of it. Also full episodes. It's so the release each week, a couple of weeks is, for example, right now we have Eric Roberts, great actor. He's currently on Dancing with the Stars. So
This is Julia Roberts' brother. Yes.
Yes.
Is that weird? Do people feel weirded when they're like, you're a brother of someone? So like when you say, oh, that's such and such's brother, is that like a weird thing to like?
Well, yeah, I think in that
They
whole
want their own-
Nepo baby Hollywood, they
want their own.
phantasmagoric weirdness. The trippier part for me is like, you know how many times I've had people walk up to me and go, I could literally be at an airport and a stunning woman will walk up to me and go, you were amazing in Backdraft. And I go, was I? Oh, hi. Ooh. I'm just, but it's just funny because dead serious now. You could say to somebody, oh, thanks so much. I'm so sorry. My name's Steve Baldwin, and you're thinking of my brother William, who is in that picture Backdraft, and I'm his younger brother. And they go, which one are you? I go, Steven. I was in Usual Suspects and the Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas. And I started,
Half-Baked.
Biodome, Threesome, all these different titles. And they'll go, oh, and Daniel was in, and I'm going, hey, I got a flight to catch. But people will bug out, and you don't want to be rude. But so now, literally, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do an improv. You ready, Ange?
Okay, what do you want me
I'm
to do?
going to see you
Who
right
am I?
now. And on action, you say, you were amazing in Backdraft.
Okay.
Watch. You ready?
Oh my God.
Watch.
As me?
As
Me, like
that
if we're in
person
an
in the
interview.
airport.
Oh, the person in the airport.
Yeah, you're that gal in
Oh
the
my
airport.
God, you're Stephen Baldwin. Oh my God, Baldwin, right? You were in Backdraft. You were amazing in that movie.
And now I go, thanks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Stephen Baldwin, everyone!